Happy Saturday, y'all. It's your girl Lorna. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Success Code Fireside Chats, where conscious leadership meets business and real talk. So today I do have a guest. She'll be jumping in a minute, but as you know, we always start this show talking about what happened this week because, even though we're always in the present, we get to use the past as or teacher, right? So this week was amazing, amazing. I have so much I want to share with you, and if you're not following me on Facebook and LinkedIn, you get to. Because I'm going to be, especially if you're a coach, if you're a speaker, if you're a service provider, selling insurance, selling real estate, any of those things, any possible business that you have, you get to be connected to me because I'm going to be bringing you some amazing things in the next couple of weeks. This is the beginning of the fourth quarter. If you are in the online space, this is the best selling season of the year. I used to, in real estate, people used to stop selling in this time, right? And hang on one second. I'm having a challenge on Facebook. Okay, so here's the thing, y'all. The internet has been giving me challenges for a couple of weeks. We still haven't figured out what the problem is. So I hope you're hearing me, and I hope you're seeing me, and I hope I'm not frozen. All right. So I was saying to you that this fourth quarter is typically the best buying season of the year, any year. And in real estate, what I would notice is that people would stop selling at this time of the year. And I always thought something was wrong with that because fourth quarter has always been my best season in real estate, right? And I put more deals under contract, and that supported my first quarter, right? So my first quarter, first week in January, I was closing 10, 20 deals in the first week of the next year, the first quarter of the next year. So I say this all to say that if you're not prepping yourself and really in the momentum of this quarter, jump in. If you don't know what to do, let's have a conversation because this week was a week where I got the opportunity to listen to, and I still get to go back in this afternoon after this show to Russell Brunson and some of the things that he's doing for the last quarter. And here's one thing that I know as a business owner. You get to find the people who are doing the things that you want to do and connect with them, lock arms with them, and do life with them, right? That doesn't mean you got to be in their house every day and drinking wine every day. No, you watch what they're doing, you emulate what they're doing, and then implement that into your business, and you will see the results, right? It's a thing that a lot of people I notice, especially after going through a couple of days in that environment this week, I see where people have still this single-mindedness that's not helping the growth. And believe me, I'm not preaching from the choir over here. I'm not preaching from a mountain. I'm just bringing you to light because I've done it, right? And sometimes I still do it when I get into those funks, right? I'm like, oh, I don't want to talk to nobody. I don't want to be with anybody, right? And so I'm encouraging you to step into finding the right community for you or the right person who is doing what you want to do and take it to the next level, right? When you're in that environment, it just brings a whole nother energy under your wings, under that momentum that you already have, and takes you into a whole nother stratosphere. So I wanted to share that with you that was happening this week. And share with you my experience about the fourth quarter, because I think it's a really important thing to bring to the table. And my guest today is going to be talking about branding, and it's a real interesting conversation. So while we're waiting for her to jump in, I'm going to share with you my experience around branding, and so that you know that who you're talking to in this conversation is not just my guest, who is a brand strategist. I was actually in the advertising business for a long time, and that's when I came out of corporate. I was in advertising. I was in the finance side of advertising, so I got to see and experience all and here she comes, all uh the back end of branding. And online branding is different, right? Hang on one second. I think she is, yeah. Online branding is different because when I worked in advertising, I worked with brands like M&M Mars, Procter and Gamble, big brands, right? Novartis International. So those are some of the ones, the big ones that we worked with. And when we did brand strategy in those companies, it was all about the product, right? And I think that what's happening here I'm gonna bring her to the stage. What's happening now in marketing and branding, from what I can see, we have still brought that context of Walmart, of M&M Mars, of Procter and Gamble, of Novartis. We've brought that context of marketing into the online space, and it's not working. So that is why I am super excited for this conversation today on the Success Code Fireside Chats, where we're going to talk about branding, because I think that coaches and speakers and service providers, they get to get the true understanding of branding that works, the true understanding of branding that attracts your ideal client. And I think that Samara Beth is one of the masters at it, because she's been in it for so long, and she's been so successful at it. And she's worked with major brands, and worked with major big I don't even want to tell you the kind of big people that she's been working with. So I'm super excited that she's now here. So get out your pens, get out your paper. Today, we're going to debunk all the myths around branding. If you're watching this now, and I can't see who is on, if you're watching this, just put something in the comments on all the platforms that we're on. And if you're watching on the replay, just take it in, because I think that when you hear what Samara Beth and I have to say today, that you're going to think of branding a different way. And if you already know, because you know how y'all are, right? You think you already know, so then you turn us off. Don't do that today. Think about how you can elevate your brand through this conversation. So without further ado, I want to welcome Samara Beth Hurley to the stage in this conversation. And Samara Beth and I have these cool conversations, right? So this is a conversation. We're not doing interview. I'm going to ask her questions, but this is not like a summit or anything like that. We're going to have a conversation that's going to support your business, and we're going to pray that the internet holds up.
We're going to pray for a lot of things, because I'm hearing impaired on my right ear this week.
So welcome, Samara Beth. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for waking up.
Girl, let me tell you. Okay, so first of all, thank you for the intro. Thank you for giving me 2 minutes to get ready, and I'm going to explain everything, because I'm as authentic as they get, which is what your personal brand should be about.
Let's go. You jumped right in.
You know it. I can't hear anything out of my right ear for a week now. I have an inner and outer ear infection. I went to urgent care. They put me on medication that did nothing for days. Went to an ENT, and he's like, "You are completely swollen all the way through. You need all new meds." And so, like, I've been on progesterone and antibiotics and stronger eardrops. So I'm like lucky if I hear my alarm. So I'm like, I'm yelling because I can't tell how loud I'm talking. So I
Sounds
apologize.
fabulous. So keep your tone. I'm always yelling.
But you know what,
But
Lorna? The
yeah,
number one rule is always show up. Don't give up. Keep going. It doesn't matter what's happening. And I actually am gonna
yes.
lift, I'm gonna lift up my computer so I'm not looking down. So let me do that. The funny thing is that my computer, my laptop is actually displayed on all the books we published. So if you want
Yeah.
good use of all those books you publish, they're great for holding up your laptop.
So Maribeth, one of the first things I always ask my guests on the show, and we're going to be here for about 45 minutes.
Cool.
One of the things that I always ask my guests when they jump on the show is, what is their definition of success? What's your definition of success? Now, let me be clear, your definition of success. Sometimes when I ask that question, people go into like, people think that, blah, 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 and they stay in the people thing and they never get to their own definition of success, which is very interesting as I ask the question. So, what is your definition of success?
So I have targets, and I'm a 10x certified business coach with Grant Cardone. So they really embed targets, and how to get there, and then reverse engineer it, which actually reverse engineered my business. So it's kind of funny. But I have a target. My target's $1 billion. Now, success, you reverse engineer that target, and you may not hit that target for each month, each week, each day, but you have to at least try, and then you have to write it down. And so for me, I have, this is actually 10x coaches have this. This is a target. I'm going to give you a blank page. Success is my duty. This is just a book that we get, and anyone can order them. But it has your schedule for the day, and it has your targets and your goals. And it can be your
Love
targets and
that.
your goals for the day or for your lifetime. And I do write them down. You got to write them down every day. Why?
Mhm.
Because stuff happens, stuff comes up. You have doctor's appointments, you have, someone gets sick, whatever, stuff happens. So you just have to keep going. So your success for the day is actually written every day. And you look at your wins, because we always go through wins. Your wins could be successes that you've written, because here it says write goals, quote of the day, target successes, write goals. Successes could be I made 50 calls instead of 200, or I signed a client, or I launched a new book for a book publishing client, or I was on a podcast episode. These are all successes in a day to day. And then the
Mhm.
definition of success for people are, I got to watch my son, who was diagnosed with autism at 1 years old. He's now a senior in college. He's going to be an astrophysicist.
That's cool.
He has a girlfriend of 3 years. Like, I get to watch my daughter, who is my miracle child, who has almost died on multiple occasions, who is in, 5 honors classes and 1 AP class. Like, she did that. That's my kids did that. They did that, but I got them to where they needed to be able to do that. I
Mhm.
can't take credit for genetics, because you never know where genetics are coming from. But she's a great kid, and she's
Mhm.
actually in the other room sleeping. She might have heard that. But the point is that success can be, I was able to overcome my divorce and move forward into another level. I was able to hit rock bottom and pull myself out of it. I was able to have the willpower and the energy and the strength to get out of bed every day to work out and sit in my office and do what I need to do. So success doesn't have to be, I'm a multimillionaire, I'm a billionaire, I'm a trillionaire. Good for you. Are you happy? Yes, money does buy happiness in many ways, but money
Mhm.
doesn't equal happiness. We have a lot of very, very wealthy multimillionaire and billionaire friends who die at
Mhm.
an age because they're sick, they have health problems. So can money buy a better health? Yes, but it sometimes when it's your time, got my God, my Hashem, when it's your time, it's your time.
It's your time. I love that. I love that. I love how you kind of like walk through different ideas of success. That's a great way to do it, because I fall into that trap sometimes. Like, I have a daily thing to do, and when I do my review at the end of the day, I'm like, oh my God, mm, right? Because I didn't do one thing that I really, really wanted to do. And then I got to pull myself out of it. That said, because I'm in my head, I'm saying, oh my gosh, this day was crap, right? But
Yep.
when I do the review and I see how many of the things I achieved, even if it wasn't a dollar amount coming in, then I can adjust my mindset around it and I adjust my definition of success. I love that you said that. By the way, I love that you have that quote on the back of behind you
Uh,
that said she believed she could, so she did. I love that. I
Thank
love that.
you. So I used to have, I- I'm looking at it now. I have a very large frame of magazine covers that I was in a magazine feature. I was covered and all over the articles, and it was my whole family is in there. And it has a reflection. So I brought it down, but also it has old memories. And sometimes you just have to move forward and step forward. And so maybe take those memories and still have them, but move forward into that next stage. And that's also where your personal brand kicks in, right? It's she's overcome. It's a reminder if I'm not turned around, which because I never am, but it's if I take my virtual, so StreamYard does not like my virtual background. It's because it's black, it makes it all streamy. So I removed it and gave you authenticity today. So you'll be able to see my office. You can see my real awards. You can see the books, the certificates and the degrees.
Mhm,
And so that's a big part of branding now too. Like I said earlier, having that personal brand, and even in your business, authenticity is very important. So I'll start with my background that has my logos and it has my company, and it's all black professional website, right? And
mhm,
then when I get to know somebody in my Zooms, because most of my meetings are Zoom, when I get to know them better and I want them to trust me, I want them to know me, I want them to understand me, and that I am here to make them better and shine and grow with their brand, publicity, their books, whatever it may be. I
mhm.
want them to know me because I want to know them. And that's when they open up. So I, in the middle of the interview, many of the times will say, I'm going to go ahead and remove my interview. I mean, my background. And also when I do that, I can show like books and things that I've written and stuff like that. It's hard to share things with
Oh
people
my
if I
gosh,
say,
let me see that again. Why
oh,
do I know that book? Is that an abundance workbook?
no, I wrote
Oh,
that.
okay. Okay.
So this is the ultimate retreat workbook, and this is my ultimate bucket list planner. They're on Amazon. I sent it to you. I gave it to you. You have that. So yeah, so then the other books are all on the bookshelf up there. So I
Yeah.
would have to like
So
get those down.
So when I was waiting for you to jump in, I was talking about a little bit of branding and how we've been using the context of how Procter and Gamble and all those big brands, right? A lot of
Mhm.
people think that that's branding. Um, so what would you say is branding? Because since I came from advertising, so that's how I used to think of branding is the product, right? Because we used to have all these meetings around product. We used to have, focus groups with people coming in and asking, okay, what do you think about the product? Do you like the brand? So the brand was the name. So let's say M&M Mars, and then under it were all these products, right? And they used to advertise the product more than the brand name, right?
Right.
That's how I came up in corporate. So when I came into the online space and people started saying branding and you are the brand, it took me a minute to shift my head around that. Right. So what can you go a little bit deeper into that and let's talk about some of the blatant misconceptions around branding that
Yeah,
corporate.
so I love that question. I want to go back to those brands like Procter and Gamble and cereal brands, Apple and Android, like those types of brands. So, and my clients, I didn't give any background, and I'm sure you did a bio. So I worked with Fortune 500 clients in New York City. We were their corporate event planning destination manager. So we did share owners meetings for Coca-Cola. We did all the big stuff for all the pharmaceuticals. I worked for Johnson Johnson for a long time. Um, and then we also worked with Merrill Lynch and all the financial companies, the stock exchange. So when you're working with all of these different companies and looking at brands, and I was a serial eater, I was a commercial watcher, I was a cartoon watcher. So I was the kid who would get up early in the morning. My middle brother and I would compete on who could get up earlier to get the remote on Saturday morning to watch the cartoons we wanted to watch. Am I going to watch, My Little Pony, or is he going to watch Transformers? So it's kind of like it was a battle, but part of that battle was watching all those commercials, right? Growing
Commercials.
up to those commercials, which you want every Barbie and every sugar cereal and everything. And my mom wouldn't buy us sugar cereals. And we didn't have like a ton of money. So I didn't get whatever I wanted, definitely for sure. And so when you watch that though, when you watch those commercials, think of it. Think back in the 80s for those who grew up in those times, 80s, 90s. Like when they do Barbie, Transformers, G.I. Joe, they're setting a full scene and they're putting the figures into this storyline, into this scene. And you have to have that because you have to have the mansion or the war zone with the beach and the
Mhm.
sand. But in small print, it says none of these things come with it.
Right?
It's just the figurine and maybe some clothes. But they're selling that story, that scene. They're selling kids playing with it. Oh my God, that's going to be me playing with it. Or with cereal, you're great. You're going to be great because you're eating Frosted Flakes. That's going to
Frosted
make
Flakes.
you great. It's going to
Yeah,
make you feel amazing.
yeah.
So those are kinds of selling that story, envisioning yourself, helping people visualize themselves using the product, being with that product, having that product, how their friends will think they're cool because they have that product. Like,
Mhm,
I want to have the cool snacks in my house. The kids will come over, right? And then if you
mhm,
fast forward to, Coca-Cola, when we did their events, we had all the celebrities, the athletes, all the people that were in the commercials and on the packaging. So Muhammad Ali, Cal Ripken, Bon Jovi, like all of this, there were so many. We had hundreds of people that were in the city. But when you're doing that, it's like, oh, they drink this, they represent this, they love this, I must too. And so that's another kind of form of branding there. Um, then you've got your Apple, Samsung. So people really, they don't buy the Apple logo. Do you buy a logo just because there's an apple on it? No. You buy the feeling you get when you walk into that Apple store,
mhm,
when you're playing around and you're immersing yourself into the brand. So we coach people on building immersive brands. And
mhm,
because that is just like an event, as you know, I've been producing events for 30 years. Just like an event, you want to immerse people into the event. You want them to feel it. You want all the senses being used throughout that process.
mhm.
So that is the difference.
How does one as a coach or a speaker now integrate that content concept into that their because now they don't have, an iPhone. It's just them, right? So how do
Uh,
they integrate that now into their
So
business?
it's a good question. First of all, we want them to we do strategy Zooms for 2 hours with them. We dig deep, we pull it out, and find out what people really want, why they're really doing what they're doing. And to
Mhm,
be honest, a lot of times in the end, they're thinking of things they never considered in their entire lives.
mhm,
So sometimes that evolves with a pivot, a rebrand, or a new brand. Sometimes they're starting over anyway. But we want to make sure that people understand because we do done for you services. I do coaching as well, but done for you services is really the way to go because a lot of people have been coached kind of overcoached in the last since the pandemic because that's all they had, right? And so, I mean, I have 5 coaches and I use all my different coaches for different things. I love
right.
them and they're perfect for the things I need. And I'm close with them so I can easily contact them if I need anything. But it's important to have those coaches, but done for you services to take things off your plate is also crucial. Even
Mhm.
myself, I'm like, we drown in tasks, Lorna, like,
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Everyone needs VAs and a PA. And, I do not cook anymore. I do not grocery shop anymore. I do not clean anymore. I do not do certain things. I hire that out. I delegate. The best event planners are delegators. And so I treat my branding business and all my businesses the same way. I have 4
Similar.
businesses, by the way.
Mhm,
So the one of the things I would say to your listeners is think visibility versus creativity. So, credibility, sorry, visibility versus credibility. Visibility requires creativity. So, with visibility, you need to be omnipresent. What does omnipresent mean? You need to be everywhere. It is so noisy out there right now. It's so noisy.
So,
It's
so, so
noisier.
if it's so noisy and you got to be everywhere, how do you become distinctive in the crowd? Like, how do
You
you?
gotta be everywhere. There's no other way around it. You gotta know where your audience is first. So if your audience is not on TikTok, get off TikTok. If your audience is on LinkedIn and YouTube, a lot of people avoid YouTube. We can get you on YouTube and LinkedIn and have a business page linking to your personal page, or use your personal Facebook, Instagram. Now, I'm guilty of this too because I'm so busy, but my team does post for me 3 days a week and I do the rest because I'm so out there all the time, Lorna. You know that I'm very involved. I'm out
Mhm.
there. So when it comes to like the instant, not the pre-scheduled, that's
Reschedule.
me. That's me because I'm out there. My personality's out there. I'm like, I'm going to go live right now. Oh, my hair doesn't look good. I'm not going live right now. It's gonna be progress, not perfection. Screw it. I'm going live. I just did that this morning. So, and it's not because I missed an alarm. It was because of our time difference. But I'm also, you have to show up no matter what. I'm in a lot of pain. This ear infection took over from here all the way down to here for a week. And I did push some clients back for some days this week. And I had a lot of doctor's appointments, but I still showed up as much as possible. I
Yeah.
still, you still got to do what you got to do and show up. If that means you don't work out that day because you're spreading pain around, then you just don't work out that day.
Mhm.
Um, but you have to be visible everywhere. So that includes a combination of pre-scheduled with done for you services or do it yourself, and then having your lives, your more authentic self being there. So, so I'm walking into like Lindsay Schwartz's event. If people go to my Instagram, Samara Beth and Co., if you're able to put that in the chat, if they go to my Instagram, they're going to see like I go live at events when I'm entering and I want to do a walkthrough, and I'll do maybe some interviews throughout, but I'm part of that event. I want to
Yeah.
be present. I want to be
Yeah.
present. I want to build relationships. I don't want to be hiding behind my phone. So you
Mhm.
have to do that too. But then you
Yeah.
have to collect people's information. I have a digital business card that does that. You have to make sure that you're taking selfies with them so you can remember thousands of people a week. So there's a lot of things that you have to do. And why did I mention all that?
Yeah.
Because cross marketing and cross posting is key. So what do I mean by that?
Yeah. And so, I gotta tell you, Samara Beth, because I'm on Russell's launch right now, and let me tell you something. That is exactly what you just said. Is that launch on steroids? You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
so many people, first of all, will judge people who are omnipresent. Number one, oh, you're chasing, you're this, you're that, not understanding how business works. The big brands do the same thing, and I'm always off the notion that if the big brands are doing it, you get to figure out how to do it too, even if it's on your smaller scale as a solopreneur. Would you agree with that? Because
100%. 100%.
Mhm,
And that means that when we're launching books, Poolside Press is my book publishing press promo company. When we're launching books and people are getting advised to do pre-sale, it's actually not a good idea. That hurts you.
mhm,
So there is a way to do pre-sale, but you don't want to do it through Amazon.
mhm,
So when people are putting books on for $0, like it can help you get best-selling status for that second, but it doesn't prolong you and it doesn't put money back in your bank. That's why we give the royalties and all the profits to they go directly to the client, and they're in their own KDP, so they can change the pricing and update whenever they want. We give them control, and control is really important for creatives and for people who are doctors and such, because a lot of times they're losing control within their business. I also want to go back into the logo. I'm going to drop a truth bomb about branding here.
that's good. This is what we
Y'all
want to
ready?
we
Y'all
want to
ready
break
for
the myth. We want to break the myth. So
this?
we're all about dropping truth bombs.
Okay, I'm going to try to drop a few. How about that? Okay, number one, branding isn't your logo
That's what I wanted you to talk about. Yes.
or your feed. It's not your feed either. It's this feeling. It's when people walk into a room. Okay, so people say to me, "Oh my god, I love your energy." And I
Yes.
I have goosebumps. My whole leg's just like lit up in goosebumps. Now my arms. Now my arms. You can see them. They're there. They're there. And I'm like, "Really? Like, what do you love about it?" Like, I hear
Yes.
it all the time and I have no idea what they're talking about. And they're like, this feeling when you walk into a room, everyone just turns
Sure.
their head. They just know. And it's not because I'm elegant or tall or stunning or anything or the well-to-do. First of all, I'm 5 feet tall. I'm a size like 000. I'm tiny. Okay, tiny. And I have plantar fasciitis. Wearing heels kills me, but I'll wear them. I'll suffer through. But
Oh
I
my
am like,
goodness.
I am like smile, happy. I love people.
Mhm.
I'm a hugger. Like, and when I see people, I'm like, oh my God, I love making people feel good about seeing me. Like, oh my God, Lorna. We're like, my voice will get high pitched. It happens when I get excited. So I'll like hug on you. I'll love on you. How are you? You look gorgeous. Turn around. Let me see you. I'm the girl in the bathroom that tells the strangers when the tag is out, your hook is open. I'm fixing their hair. I've been planning
And
a
the
lot of
lipstick
weddings
on
and
your
events in
teeth.
my life.
Oh my God.
It's an occupational hazard of being an event planner for so long. You go to the bathroom and I'm like, oh, you have a cut? Duct tape, safety pins. Like, so I love on you. I make you feel good. I make you feel pretty. And I want you to feel good about yourself when you see yourself. And so it's not about the logo. It's not about, it is about, there is psychology. We do use psychology behind the logo, the colors, the typography. It's
Mhm.
a very strong psychology, and there are power colors, there are feeling good colors, there are donate please colors. There's, depending on what your purpose is and your goals, there is a psychology behind all those colors. There are color wheels with psychology, but they can also vary. And you can study logos of brands like Target and Apple and all them and see what they do. It's all on the internet. If you have
Mhm.
time to do that, or you can hire a company that literally does all the work for you.
Right.
And we create 45 pages of different logos with different backgrounds. So you can see it when it's on a black background, a white background, this and the other. And we show you all different ways that it's on a website, social media, so that you can visualize it right then and there. Because the worst thing is to choose a logo and then it doesn't work on all the things you need it for, like a step and repeat or something. So logos are important. They just don't equal success. They don't equal the necessarily visibility and credibility. You have to build that yourself. So we make you look credible and authoritative in your industry, the go-to person. We help you build and elevate that brand so you can dominate. We build the scripts, the content, the teleprompter feeds. We will hold the teleprompter for you if we have to, under the camera in the right place. We'll do all that for you. And we'll do your social media and we'll set you up. And so you have omnipresence across all platforms. But you still have to do your job and you
Yeah.
have to do it well. It's not a magic wand. It is not, oh my God, I love this doctor and he's so amazing and elite and I love what he's saying and what he's talking about. And then they go visit you or they have a coaching call and you have no personality. Like, that's a problem.
Mhm.
So you kind of have to work on some of those things too.
Mhm.
It's not magic dust, but it helps. It's one
Yeah.
step, but it's the experience of you.
Yeah. I think that that's what's missing in our. It's so funny. I had the questions down, but I'm not asking the questions because you just rolling right into them. It's so fun. I, like I see a lot of people, even in our space, in our communities that we are in, Samara, still have that misconception of the logo. That they get so caught up with the logo. They get so caught, and they're not connected to themselves, which is the problem when you have a challenge, right? You can do all the outside stuff, right? But when you get to the emotional piece of it, they got to show up as who they are. And I think that the performance comes forward faster than the authenticity. And I think it's because it's so practiced. But I think that one of the things that we get to do, right, and you get to do in your business, is to make sure that they show up authentically. Like, you got to pull that out of them so that they can be the attractive, magnetic brand. So that's being a magnetic brand, right? Is showing up authentically and being who you are, no matter, yes, you can't be like, I wouldn't want to say it. You got to be like proper.
Say it. Say it. What is
You got
it?
to be proper. You don't want to be
Proper.
like, all willy-nilly, right? But you still got to be you. You still got to be you, because
Yeah.
that's what people buy. People buy you, your authenticity, your care, your concern. People buy emotion, right? So as much as possible that people can really get to that and come out of this performative branding, is what I'm calling it, is the more they're going to be successful. What do you think?
I like that performative branding. I like that.
Girl, because it doesn't work. It doesn't work. And I love what you
And I
said
call
about
it
energy. You
immersive, and
also,
it's similar. It's similar because immersive is getting into it. Like when you're performing, and I went to performing arts camp for 7 summers, and I did theater stuff. But when you're performing, you have to immerse yourself into that part and into that where you are. You're not on a stage. You're not surrounded by wooden curtains. You're in a scene. If you're on stage or within, you're not in a room with a gazillion people with cameras and lights and all that. I mean, I can't imagine doing a bedroom scene. I don't know how they do it. Because you have to remember they're in a room with a lot of people when they're doing these scenes, and they have to break down and cry, or they have to be, whatever. You have to immerse yourself in any situation that you're in, even for your clients. I love that
mhm.
performance.
So what would you say about marketing when it comes to branding? Is it the same thing? Because sometimes people get that confused as well. Is branding marketing, or is it a like, is it a collaborative thing, branding and marketing? And how do you bring it together so that you get sales in your
Yeah.
business?
Such a good question. And it's like the $1,000,000 question that honestly, like algorithms are always changing.
Mhm.
So like when you're doing omnipresence, obviously means you need to be everywhere, which means you have to be wherever your audience is, not everywhere. Like you don't have to be on Pinterest if your audience is not on Pinterest, but if your audience is on Pinterest, you best be on Pinterest.
Mhm.
And we talk about, a lot of people talk about ads. There's times where there's a good time and place for ads. But more ads doesn't mean more success either. So ads work after your message and your brand are already aligned.
Mm.
So actually organic engagement delivers 61% higher ROI than paid ads.
Wow.
HubSpot did that research in like 2024. What's happening with people? It's so sad right now. Like, let's just talk about what's happening right now, Lorna. You
Mhm.
used to have like, not it's like when they came out with 30-second abs, 1 minute abs, 2 minute abs, 5 minute abs, whatever. I'm gonna come up with, this is like it's something about Mary in the movie. Ben Stiller goes, I'm gonna come up, I think he was saying, I'm gonna come up with 3-second abs, whatever it was. It's who can come up with the most, the least amount of time to work out. And we're trying to get people to pay attention to a reel or a trailer video for more than 2 seconds. We're like playing the opposite game.
Right.
So our game is, people went from like 9 seconds, 14 seconds, 9 seconds, whatever, a minute and a half, all the way down to you've got 3 seconds to get their attention. And sometimes it's two. It's blue, 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 blue. And it's getting so bad. The swiping game is just incorrigible. We're all guilty of it. And then it's really important to look at your insights too on your social media, because it will
Yeah.
tell you swipe through percent. So have a professional account, please. Have a personal account separate from your professional account. Thank you. And make that a professional account and look at the insights, because it will tell you each reel how many people viewed your reel. It also tells you if you have a post, it will tell you how many people looked at it, how long they looked at it. You're going to get insights, and now they're doing reports too, which is great.
Yeah. I like
So
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
so you want to pay attention to the reports, because it's showing, oh, this reel got 17,000 views, but this one got 500. Let's
Mhm.
repost this 17,000 one or 22,000
Oh,
one and maybe redo it, either repost it or put another effect on it, like having yourself or someone else talking about it while it's being posted. You see a lot of that stuff too.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so there's a lot of ways to do that. But the thing with ads is ads are great when you're trying to get a different audience than the audience you have, or if you're trying to build your list, right? I'm a big organic person. I attend a lot of events. It costs a lot of money to do that. Not everyone can do that. Not everyone can get on a plane and leave. My kids are a little older now. They're 15 and 21, and I have my daughter half the time, so I'm able to like kind of make it out of town every now and then, but I live in Arizona. I live in Scottsdale. Almost everybody comes to us eventually. So we get Aspire. We get all the big
Yes,
conferences too.
so it's just a drive for you.
It's a drive-through. I live in Scottsdale, so there Phoenix Convention Center's here. I actually have a booth coming up at Phoenix Convention Center September 19th, 20th for Brand X. This is actually a great example of how I'm such a collaborator. So I meet this guy at a event that all our friends were like, we knew a lot of the people there, and I'm like, oh, what's your name? And we're talking, and I'm like, oh, so what do you do? And I don't ask that first. So I'm like, what do you do? And he's like, I'm a brand. I'm like, so am I. We should work together. How many people that do exactly the same thing would say that?
Oh, not in this competitive world, not many.
No, no. So, and it almost took him aback a little, I think. And I was like, so what do you do for your branding? I'm like, let's jump on a call. We booked a call, a Zoom. We got on the Zoom. We spoke forever. We could have gone on even longer. He interviewed me for his podcast. He brought me on as a presenter on the 20th and a booth exhibitor on the 19th and 20th. And I love what they're doing. And we're friends with a lot of same people, but I've met new people from him. And in fact, like some of the people I've met, like the person who is emceeing the event, we were on a Zoom for like an hour. We couldn't
Wow.
stop talking, and then we wanted to like schedule another one. We had such a connection. Like that's the thing, is that you never know what you're going to get out of something. And turns out the type of branding and things he does is a little different from what I do. There might be some things that are the same, but there's enough that aligns that we're able to work together, and there's enough business. And sometimes you have to work with others. Like my best friends were all event planners. There were times where we would work for each other. I didn't do Indian weddings, but my friends did. So I was their assistant. They knew they were going to get immediate, amazing footage from their event quicker than the professional photographers and videographers that they could post right away because they had
Right.
me as an assistant. But I was also making sure everything was perfect because I also have OCD type A personality as an event planner. So like you want to lean on people that do what you
Yeah.
do. Like, David Fagan and I, we work together. Like I work with other people who do the same things that I do because there are things that we do that they don't do,
Yeah.
or we have different networks. There's tons of
That's
business.
such that's such a shift in paradigm, right? Like if I hope people are hearing this because especially in this online space, there is such a oh, I don't want to share my audience. Oh, I don't want to share my list. Oh, we do the same thing, so we can't work together, kind of thing. It's so prevalent. I see it all the time. So this is like a huge myth that you're busting up right here, right now.
Bust a
So
myth. If I could, I would be doing the Running
what's the
Man.
move?
Bust a myth. Well, I'm a Running Man expert. I have to tell you that. I've done it on many dance stages.
Oh goodness.
I've been caught
Yeah,
on video many times.
yeah.
And
This
Roger
this
Rabbit.
you're
So
go ahead. Go ahead.
no, I want you to go ahead. You go ahead because I'm like answering your questions before you ask them. So I'm going to shut up now.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I want to go back to building trust with the audience because I think that that's one of the pieces that
Yeah.
I find is preventing a lot of the success that we're looking for in the space in the online space. I know that a lot of people are going back to live events, and I also know that a lot of people going back to live events are still not getting the numbers, quote unquote, the people coming in, even though people are registering, they're not showing up. So I think there's still some disconnect on both sides, right? Both live events and online, where people I don't think are trusting themselves and not trusting the people who they're registering for their event. So what would you have to say about that? Because I think that's a huge part of the branding process. And I think
Yeah.
there's a huge gap there that gets to be bridged. What do you say about that?
It's a great point, and it's so true, and I hear it all the time. So yes, organic, bringing in the numbers and funneling people through is important. But it's also that organic feel, and that's why showing up all the time, yeah, it's exhausting. I get it. Like you think about, okay, I'm a single parent. I got kids. I got my mom. My dad just passed away. I have a boyfriend. I've got, I run 4 companies. People have homes they take care of. They have other things. Like we have all these responsibilities, and then we have to tend to our clients and then also follow up and do the proposals and the contracts and all the things, right? And so the importance of all of it is you still have to have some sense of organic connection with them. So whether it's going live and talking to other people on lives, whether it's doing what you're doing now with StreamYard, bringing people in, letting them comment and put things in the chat and answer their questions. They want to be seen and they want to be heard. So doing group, I'm doing stuff with Forbes Riley too. She's a friend and she's actually coming in town. So I'll be with her when she's here. And, she's the pitch queen, and she, came in and on Al, which I brought you on too. She was on Al brand, a tutorial. There were not a lot of people who showed up to that. It was mostly the brand ambassadors and just a few people that weren't, that were on the Zoom with her. And she gave out all this free advice and worked with everyone and talks to everyone. And because we're doing a 30-day fitness challenge. And so she's helping out with that, as well as Kelly and some others that are amazing. And so, but they all showed up, but then the people didn't come. And it's like they came, but not as many as there should be. There should be hundreds and hundreds of people on that Zoom. It's free, for goodness sakes. And people just, they're oversaturated. There's so many emails coming through, and AI is not helping. It's like you're getting bombarded. A lot of things go to your junk file, a lot. I have Go High Level. I have a white label Go High Level Catalyst, and even my emails go to junk file. Like it's just, it's a job to get people into your inbox. I have 6 emails that I have to check. That's a job in itself. And then you get all the outside distractions and things, like somebody gets sick and you can't go, or the car breaks down. Like we had a nail in a tire, that the tire had to be changed out on a brand new lease car. The other car, the battery, I go to get my daughter at school and the battery's dead. Like stuff just happens. And that was 2 days in a row. And I still couldn't hear on my radio. So stuff just happens, but you have to over invite. So you have to assume that's going to all happen. You have to over invite. You have to mix the crowd. So when I was a Pampered Chef consultant, I did that for 8.5 years. I was an advanced director, one of the top recruiters in the world. I actually have all those awards are back there. And that was me coaching a person, a stranger, on how to produce an at-home kitchen demonstration, a cooking demonstration that I would do at their home. I would give them ingredients, I would give them all the tools, and I would coach them on how to over invite, mix the crowd, how many people to invite. You want to have 20 people there, you need to invite 60. You want to have 7,500 people fill up your stadium for GrowthCon, you need to put 3 zeros at the end of that on the number of people that you need to invite.
Wow.
The silver lining, Lorna, with pandemic was Clubhouse and all these audio apps, and you now have a global network. The bad part of that is, if your global network is in Ireland and in Asia and all over the world, but you're in LA and they can't afford to get to you, it's not going to happen, right? So, and you're in a central location, as am I somewhat. You're in Dallas. I'm in Arizona. I used to live in Houston. Those are very central. They're big convention center cities as well. Like, in fact, Pampered Chef, I spoke on stage at the Dallas Convention Center. And those are very central locations. So you can, if you're in a location where there's a big international airport, you have a better chance of getting people there. But no one expects Newark Airport to close down as many times as it has. Or no one expects airlines like United or all these airlines to cancel and ground all their flights.
Hold on 1 second. I'm losing you. I don't even know if it's me or you. Hold on.
Oh. Might be you. I'll keep talking just in case.
Yeah, keep talking.
So, although it's your StreamYard, but so nobody knows that these things are going to happen. You have to prepare. So public relations. So my major was public relations in the College of Journalism at University of Maryland, and we're bringing PR more so to the front of what I do with branding and marketing and PR and events, because events is PR. I actually went into the PR major because I knew I wanted to plan events. My mom planned conferences, and so I helped her, and I knew that I wanted to do events. And we entertained a lot too, but there was no hospitality program at University of Maryland. So I had to be creative. And so I went with PR and journalism, and it worked great because PR does events too, but I got a job right out of college working for Empire Force Events, which is the longest running corporate event planning destination management company in New York, still there. So I was able to do, the most incredible of incredible and work with these top clients, right? So the thing is that we didn't expect 9/11 to happen, but we were there when it did. And boy, did that take us down. But we showed up.
So I hear you with the over invite, right? But I'm still not hearing like if there's a solution for the trust factor for them to be able to, because I strongly feel like people, a lot of times when people don't show up to an event, it's a trust factor. It's a trust deficit. We are in a trust, somebody said it this week, we're in a trust recession right now. And
we
so
are, and I've heard that before. Yeah.
Yeah. How do we bring people back to trust? I get it. I know it starts with the person, right? It starts with the person. So it was just a question. I thought that,
yeah. And I do have a good answer for that. I have an answer for that. So first, I know you're like, I know she probably does, and I haven't had coffee yet. I just took my vitamins. So we can go all day, girl.
I know.
I only need hearing in one ear.
Yeah.
So yes, we do have a trust deficit because a lot of people were taken advantage of, and I have a trust challenge with people. I've lost friends and family in a divorce. I also lost people because of some of the things that are happening either politically or in the world. And so trust for me is a very deep, troubling thing at the moment. So you hit hard on that. But is it trust or is it accountability when it comes to showing up to events and things that are business related? It's accountability. They don't have a boss saying, you're showing up at this convention in Vegas. We're staying here. We're driving together. You're wearing this. You're doing this. I've worked remotely since 2000. Actually, no, since I was engaged, 1999. I work remotely in a totally different state, like lived in Charleston, worked in New York City. After I left New York City, got engaged to a Navy person, went to submarine school, worked out of my home there, flew back and forth all the time. I've been doing it a long time. It takes dedication. It takes motivation. It takes diligence. It takes you got to keep yourself accountable, and people don't know how to do that. They're not capable. They're doing laundry. I don't leave this desk. I can barely go to the restroom. My Zooms are boom, ba boom, ba boom, ba boom, ba boom, back to back. And even the ones I put a buffer in mine, but they all were running over. And so I'm out of water. Usually I have multiple containers of water. I have my medication here. I keep everything in my bubble because I don't have a catheter, but I need one. Because I don't have time to get off this desk because I work hard. I play hard, but I work hard. And the problem is, and for me, if there's a networking event and I told the coordinator I will be there, I will be there. But other people, they get off easy. Oh, they won't notice. They don't care. They don't know me. They're not my best friend. Would your best friend do that to you? Would your sister do that to you? Would your mother do that to you? Oh, hell's no.
Yeah. I can hear that, and I could totally see that, but they don't see it. So if you're watching and that's you, raise your
get
hand.
off the butt.
No, seriously, right? Because here's the thing, and this is stuff I teach, right? If you don't, now we brought it into your awareness, but if you don't acknowledge it for yourself, nothing's going to change, right? And if you want something to change, you got to do something different, right? So the acknowledgement is actually propelling the change in your way of being, really, so that you can show up. Because here's the thing: if you say you want something and you registered for it, this is the part that gets me. They register, but they don't show up. That it just doesn't make sense. I don't do that, so I don't get it. Like yesterday, this woman. She was in the chat in the community after we went through the whole day of the training, right? And she came to the chat. She said she got sick, so she missed the training. So I'm sitting there going, okay, I'm not judging it. I'm just giving you an example of how I think. If she got sick, that's a great way of not missing the training. Guess why? Why?
If she got
She's already
sick.
she's already in the bed. All she would have
Oh,
had to do
it
was
was virtual.
it's virtual.
So you
So
just turn
if
your
she got
camera off.
just turn on the Zoom. Oh my God, this is weird. That's just how I think. But she got sick, so she didn't show up. And then she shows up and is asking everybody else to
What
help her to
happened?
get on track.
Oh
See,
no.
that doesn't work for me. That doesn't work for me. Because if I'm sick, I'm already in the bed. You know who brought me to this awareness? I forgot his name. He's a preacher. He was on his deathbed. If I remember
Mm.
his name, I'll put it in the comments for y'all. So y'all could go watch him. It wasn't I'm looking at his face, but I can't remember his name. Anyway, he was on his deathbed, right? This guy almost died. He could not move. Could not move. And you know what he did on his deathbed? Whenever he felt good, he built a business. I think he built 4 businesses while he was incapacitated on the bed. I think you're
Sounds
not.
like something I would do.
He's incapacitated on the bed. He can't get up. People have to help him to get up. And
Were they health and wellness businesses?
he built 4 businesses. And he's still a pastor. I don't think he's passed away yet. Still a pastor, still preaching, and still
Because
an
they're keeping him
entrepreneur.
going. Can't let go of
Yeah.
that.
I'm telling you. I mean, I think that I know I'm a little bit off track here, but it's not off track. It's still branding because you got to show up.
You gotta
That's
show
key.
up.
If you get nothing else from this conversation today, you got to show up. You've got to show up. Visibility is not an option. Not an option. It is how I outsold people in the Hudson Valley in real estate. The biggest companies. One year I did 72 deals by myself. You know why? Because I showed up. Like people used to see me in the supermarket. I wasn't in the supermarket. My face was on a cart in the supermarket.
You're that girl.
Yeah, I'm that girl.
Love it.
Right? So
Love it.
so I know that visibility works if you're committed to it, and if you're committed to the goals and the impact that you say you want to have in the world. Well, where are you? It's not going to happen with you sitting, being like invisible. You can tell I'm passionate about this thing. Okay, great.
It's so funny now. I always forget you're in real estate when you're totally real estate's your thing because we
Yeah,
do so much else together.
right. But it's all related. All of
It
it is
is all
it's
related. It's
all related.
excuses. It's excuses. That's why you need an accountability coach. That's why I do
Yeah,
accountability coaching because we're like, okay, what else?
yeah,
What
yeah, yeah,
else? What else? Tell us everything. Get it all out.
yeah,
What else?
yeah.
Okay, are you done?
Get it all
Awesome.
out. Get it
Are
all out.
these
Yeah,
excuses or these reasons why you can't move forward in your business? And that's kind of
yeah.
and sometimes you just need an outsider to just say it. I mean,
See it.
listen, with kids, how many times you're like, oh, eat the healthy stuff, eat this, whatever we make this, they don't eat it at your home. And then they go to someone else's home, they're like, oh my God, just at home, it was so good. I'm like, I just had
I know.
broccoli and cheese casserole. Are you kidding me? It was so good. Maybe it's the way they make it. I'm like, but that's parenting, right?
Yeah,
It's like they have to hear about it from a different
yeah,
voice.
yeah.
So I want to give your audience a little bit
Yes.
of tips on how to stop chasing aesthetics and start anchoring their identity.
All
May I
right.
do that?
Yeah, real quick because we're at time, and
Okay,
I want to
perfect.
make sure that you leave them some takeaways, and I want to make sure you leave them with one quote. This is what I always ask my speakers to just give them one takeaway at the end. So go.
Okay, so I know that we're always trying to make our website look pretty, our sales page look pretty, our social media look pretty. And I can tell immediately when your VA or yourself are using Canva, by the way. It's like that, I can tell. So people can tell professional versus templates immediately, okay? And a pretty feed doesn't equal a powerful brand. So I want you to keep that in mind. I want you to focus more on who you are, why you do what you do, and how you help people win. They're there they want to learn a little bit about you because they want to feel like they know you, trust you, but they also want to know what you're going to do to help them because they're suffering in some way. So
Mhm.
anchor your brand to your values, your voice, and your vision, and have the aesthetics like support, but not define your identity. Okay. And make sure you understand, and there are studies that show this as well, that prove this, that people connect to stories and energy more than visuals. And I grew up my mom was very woo-woo in the land of past life regression and death and dying, and the things that she did back in the 80s, which is what she planned conferences for. But now manifestation, meditation, all these things are the norm. They used to be very woo-woo. Now the top CEOs and executives are all doing it because it works. So do that. Do it for yourself. Do it for your clients. There is a study, Stanford had a study that showed that stories are 22 more times more memorable than facts or visuals.
Absolutely.
Yes. And brands that lead with identity over aesthetics have 2.5 times more loyal customers. And Deloitte said that. They were one of my clients. So when you're looking at people's ads and brands, whether it's Nike or a real estate company or whatever it may be, look at what they're doing. Look at what's working. Look at what's getting controversial. Look at Cracker Barrel. Look at what they did. And in PR, we say there's no such thing as bad PR. I'll guarantee you when Cracker Barrel fixes what they broke, which they will, because they just dropped millions of dollars more. They're going to be the busiest go-to restaurant on the highway, whether you live near one or not. So that's what I want you to do. And, we help brands breathe because it's really not about being Instagram pretty. And that's why my posts aren't always pretty, perfect and whatever. It's about making the audience feel something powerful. Yeah. And they need to interact and engage with you. And you want to keep them accountable. So if they show up, what are they getting? Give them money. Give them cash. Show up to my event. I'm going to charge you $575. Show up to my event. You're getting $100 back. Yeah. That'll cover your gas and your car parking, whatever. Yeah. Make it worth it. Have Insta-worthy activation stations set in place, like different video photo shoot opportunities with professional photographers, as well as with the selfies with their phones. So they can do their own reels and their own thing and not have to wait in a long line for that. Have different engaging opportunities. Have a hashtag, have a tag, make gamify everything, make it a competition. Yeah. The person, posting this many, for the person who posts the best, like you can do superlatives, like the best branding of my, centerpieces and tables, or the food buffet.
That's
or
so fun. That's a great idea. Oh my gosh.
Mix it up. Make it up. Sorry, I cussed. Make it up and then have a hashtag for it and tell them to tag you. And so it goes, and have them collab with you. They're showing up on your feed. Everyone's posting different stuff. Like, that's cool. It looks good. It looks good for you. And then you can have that feed actually automatically go into your website if you want, into your blogs and vlogs. So I'm Samara Beth. I hope you enjoyed your experience.
This is great. This is great, Samara. Thank you so much. And boy, you just dropped a bombshell worth of stuff. If they only take the last 3 minutes worth of this conversation, they could make a ton of money, because that was a great idea. Do it with the reels and stuff for the events. That's the interaction, right? That's amazing. All right. So guys, this has been, I hope you found a ton of value in this conversation. The biggest takeaway I heard is be you, right? Be authentic, be energetic, and bring people in that way, and then serve them at the highest level. Serve them at the highest level. That's the biggest takeaway I had. What's the one last sentence, a quote that you want to leave with the audience, Samara?
Oh my goodness, I thought that was the last. So what I can say is immerse yourself. It's so funny, I think of that. The reason why we say we build immersive brands is because, and it's bringing back to what you and I initially said, immerse yourself in the experience before you create it. And does it feel like it's just PowerPointy, or is it really using all the senses? So when you build a powerful branded or events experience, think of all 5 senses and how you're engaging them, and do that in your booths at conventions or trade shows, or even if you make jewelry at trade shows and craft fairs. It doesn't matter what you do, whether you're in real estate or whatever. You know, the places we like the most going to, I've lived in 30 homes in 13 cities, Lorna. So I've had my share of homes. Okay. And I've had my shares of looking at homes. So if you have a lot of real estate people in here, you know, have that smell of chocolate chip cookies when they walk in the room, have the things that they need. So, and I did that. I staged my homes to death. They sold within a week every time. So always have that experience when they walk in. Oh my God, it smells so good. It's so clean. It's so perfectly staged. I mean, lock up your crap somewhere else. Get rid of stuff before you move. Have the floors done before you show it, even if you're moving. Those things work. They work. And so I didn't mean to go into real estate, but hey, I got a lot of experience in it. It's not my business.
I know, and it's true. It's true. It's those little things that actually sell the houses that they don't want to do. But anyway,
it's the little things, but you have to also share it. So when you're doing something, an event, a brand, a new business, or a house for sale, it's not just the agent's job to do the work. You also have to use your audience to share it. Email marketing, send it out to all your friends, get it on all your social medias, go live with it, do your own walkthrough, do all those things. Don't leave it up to that one person you paid.
yeah.
Take responsibility, show up, be accountable.
Be accountable. That's a whole nother show. That's a whole nother show. Okay, guys, we are at an overtime. Thank you so much for being an amazing audience today. I saw a bunch of people popping in and out, so I can't wait to go look at the comments, see what they said. You guys have been amazing, and I would love for you to put in the comments, tell me your takeaways, and also please like, share, and subscribe to the channel, because we want to make sure that people are getting this information out there. Samara Beth is one of the best in the business, y'all. So don't sleep on that, right? And so we want to thank you again for being here this week, and we'll see you next week. And go out there and be you. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.